Welcome to the AI Customer Service Podcast, where we explore how artificial intelligence is transforming customer service and support through conversations with industry leaders and innovators. Today, we have Ken Benet as a guest speaker. Ken is the manager of customer experience and AI enhanced support at We the People NYC. Before this, Ken was at Pratt Institute doing his UI UX course with AI in Center. Ken, thank you so much for taking the time out to do this podcast with us. How are you doing today?
I am well, Manab. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here with you. I'm flattered. Um, my name is Ken, as you said, and my path into AI and customer experience didn't come about in the most traditional way. I actually started, as you said, as a musician. I earned advanced degrees in music, and I even founded a music and art school on Long Island, New York. And that's where I learned how to really break things down in a way that people could actually connect with. And eventually, I moved into legal document preparation, and I wear many hats at my company, We the People, in New York City, including experience, marketing, and social media. Um, Working with clients who are struggling how to understand legal procedures taught me something very important. And that's the real problem isn't the people's ability to understand and comprehend, but rather it's the systems. They're built often without considering how humans actually process information, especially during stressful times. And that and my love of design pushed me into UX UI design at Pratt Institute, where I focused on empathy, human-centered design, and creating transparent user flows. And AI became the natural extension of that work. I use AI as a creative partner, not just a tool. It helps me prototype quickly, rewrite dense legal explanations into plain English, evaluate user journeys, and stay consistent across service categories. It's really a collaboration between human intuition and AI speed. At We the People, this partnership it lets me completely redesign how customers get their information. I built an AI assistant, a custom GPT, that answers questions like a normal human would, with boundaries, clarity, and plain English. Basically, when you're interacting with this GPT, the chatbot, you're interacting with me, essentially. And to sum things up, my whole career, music, teaching, UX, and now AI, has really just been about making complicated things feel manageable.
Awesome. I did not know that you yourself went and created the GPT by yourself. So that's something you took by yourself, the whole project.
I did absolutely, and I was able to get those skills through Pratt. Had some absolutely wonderful, top-notch instructors there, and so the GPT that I created, it's it it does exactly what I want it to do and what I don't want it to do. I don't want it to give any type of legal advice, and I want it to speak, interact with people just how you're interacting with me. And so it has a very human element to it, and it keeps things focused on the services that we provide and what we're actually able to do for people.
And would you mind sharing what you people do at We the People NYC?
Sure. At We the People, we're a legal document preparation company. We're a small company, and that gives me the opportunity to wear a variety of different hats. Like I said, I do all of our social media. I do the designs. I do the marketing. I pretty much kind of do everything, all the creative aspects, and I really enjoy that. And I use that to help people through the process of filing divorce, filing bankruptcy, creating companies, creating wills, We we do legal document preparation for these types of services that you don't necessarily need a lawyer for, because it's just paperwork. We're not lawyers, and we never come across as lawyers, but we simply are experts in preparing specific types of paperwork.
Which means your AI has to be very specific and does not give legal advices. So there has to
Yeah,
be guardrails. Awesome.
yes, yeah, and there are many, many guardrails. I use, I give it instructions, boundaries. I upload files into the custom GPT, and so it's not just drawing information, randomly from the servers. It's drawing from specific information that I provided. And of course, like I said, I give it a tone as well, that people can interact with.
Which is really awesome. I really love where it's going. So, what were the early day customer support or CX challenges you observed that you may think like, okay, there must be a better way. I can resolve it with an AI instead of me doing it manually. What were the early day customer support when you joined with the people NYC? Did you face anything specific which made you, hey, why not try an AI for this?
Yes, in a variety of ways. When I came to We the People, things were in a very physical paperwork stage, and so I really brought us into the 21st century, creating systems, automated systems. And one of the biggest things that helped customer service wise was just breaking down the dense legal supposed barriers that people think that they're going to have, and really just making it simple, putting it into plain language that people can understand. And that there was a reason for the custom GPT that I had created. And in creating that as well, of interest, I created a number of different personas, which were synthetic personas of who our customers are. They're from the Bronx, they're from Queens, some have money, some don't have much money. And so I took all these personas together, and then I effectively interviewed our market base, and I was able to better program, if you will, the custom GPT. And it's stressful times when, as you can imagine, if you're filing divorce or filing bankruptcy, you have a lot of questions, and when you're stressed, your brain doesn't quite work as well as it should. And so, by helping people get their questions answered in these ways, it really helps a lot. And to further that, it allows so that when they do want to call us, and they always have the option to call us. If they don't want to interact with the GPT, they don't need to. But by the time that they call us after they've interacted with it, we're really all talking the same language here, because they've been brought up to speed so quickly.
Great. So are you guys also thinking someday in the future to move, since you are using call centers, I guess. So there's a way people can reach out to you through a phone number and then put a voice AI agent in that place. In future, like are you guys taking the direction, or do you want to take it slow? Hey, let's take some time to understand because voice is a bit technical, or are you guys planning this on the roadmap right now?
Well, it's not in the roadmap right now. Although I will say, I do not take anything off the table. Everything is on the table, but it's got to be the right time for it. And so with our business, it's just not the right time. People, they generally want to speak with another person. They don't want to be shuffled to a call center. Although I'm not taking anything away from AI call centers because I've used many and I've been very impressed at the results and how helpful that they've been to me. But with our line of business right now, no, that's one area where I really like the human touch, and it's this combination of the AI plus the human touch. I don't ever see us going fully automated because people we're human. We want to have that that human interaction.
Totally agree with that. Yeah. A lot of people have the same thing. I think the industry would need some time, and people really do want to speak to a human when it's a very specific, when it's an empathetic situation. You are going through a divorce, you don't want to a chatbot. Yeah, that totally makes
That's
sense.
right.
Cool. So could you walk us through any specific use case or from like a problem definition to deployment to result where you have seen like, okay, we have decreased the time through an AI chatbot, or we have improved our CSAT or response time, or have you saved something on your cost side, operational cost? What is the biggest thing impact that you have seen since using an AI chatbot? Is it the saving time, cost, or your CSAT, anything?
Well, in terms of that, I think it's just customer satisfaction. Has it saved us some time? Yeah, I suppose it's saved us some time in getting those initial basic questions out of the way, and so by the time that people do reach, when they do want to reach us, we're talking at a higher level, and their basic answers, their basic questions have already been answered. So it's helpful in that area very much. Um, One way that it's been remarkably has saved a lot of cost is with our online marketing and our website as well. Because of AI, I've been able to update our website, keep it fresh, keep the content fresh. And it's not just about, plugging into AI, hey, create a lot of keywords and, all these good things for the landing page. It's about working together with the AI because the AI, when I use it has to know, of course, our goal, but it has to know our client base too. And so with those items, it's allowed me to create a variety of blogs that are very helpful to people that can guide them from step one through step three, and as well a bonus to that, it helps our Google rankings. It helps our SEO, and so it's just a win-win the entire way, and and as well for me personally, it's a big bonus because it has taught me so much things that I would a month ago, 2 months ago, that I would have had to have farmed out to a website developer. I don't need to do that. If I have a problem with something, I can use AI to help me troubleshoot it. And getting back to the online content creation, when creating blogs, it's these blogs are just resources that people can go to, and so now instead of just calling us again, which they always have the option to do, and we answer the phone all the time, but that they have a resource through our blogs that's been populated by AI, and then it's been curated by me, and they've got the chatbot, and so we make resources so easy for people to access, and so that's been a very very big part of how we've been using AI.
Awesome. And very specific to customer support or customer experience, what data or infrastructure do you think you need in place to make an AI in support work effectively?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch all that. What data do I need?
Yeah, what are your what kind of infrastructure or what kind of things that you need to have an AI in place to take care of your customer support? What are the things that one should keep in mind? So you created your own AI chatbot. What are the things that any other people who is customer support manager who is building an AI for his company for customer support, what are the things that person should take in mind, keep in mind when building that, and what are the infrastructure do that person need?
Oh, well, I think one of the biggest things to keep in mind is that it's not just a set it and forget it type of deal. Um, you're constantly refining it because as you use it, you always find small ways to tweak it and make it just a little bit better. In terms of communicating with people and making it human like, and um, in terms of the infrastructure, with our company, we're on the small side, and so the infrastructure that we need is very very simple. It's it's a version of ChatGPT, one of the paid versions, and then as well as what I use for my infrastructure, I use just a variety of other AI programs, whether it be Mid-Journey to create images or Sora to create AI videos. Yeah, it really just depends on what a person wants to accomplish, but there are more than enough tools out there to use for the infrastructure.
And how do your customers or your agents, if there are any, your customer support representatives, they feel about AI tools being introduced into their workflow, or your customers, how do they feel this AI chatbot is now taking over and I have to speak to it, or customer support representatives, they have to use AI to get those answers. How's the change management playbook looking out there?
Mm. Uh, Good question. Well, with our customers, they have the option if they want to use the chatbot. They don't have to, but the smart ones do because it has so much information, and the way that it's been designed is so. I take into consideration the fact that you've got a lot of first time people. This is their first experience with AI, and it's about building trust with them. And so it's set up in such a way to relate to people with to relate to people with very common ways that and lots of familiarity. And so it begins to know that, okay, well, I asked it this and it told me this obvious answer. I agree with that. And then it slowly builds on that. And so you're not really aware of it, but you're giving it more trust the more time that you spend with it. And with our other representatives, there was a little hesitation at first when introducing this, but in the end, everybody is on board now. 100% everybody is on board because they realize how much time they've saved from answering just basic questions, basic concerns, and so now we can dedicate more time to getting a little further in depth with people about concerns that they may have. And so it gives us, it's enabled us to create more time to help people at a deeper and a higher level.
Awesome. And what are the ethics or customer trust considerations you think about when using AI in support, like something like data privacy, transparency, or handing off queries from the AI to a human customer support agent? How do you manage data privacy since AI, sometimes I am having a divorce, maybe there's a conversation about money, And how do you ensure to your customers that, hey, don't worry, your data is safe, we are not going to do it? How do you make those customers comfortable about, give us your personal information and we'll keep it safe?
Well, to avoid that, we never take personal information and feed that to the chatbot. We never do that. So we kill that right at the source. And so if somebody does attempt to provide information, the chatbot comes back and says, no, 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 I don't need to know this. And so yeah, so it's really not. Yeah, well, we don't use it in that way at all, and that's one of the guardrails that I've set up, and that's something that it creates trust with people too.
And is there a way you can measure that your chatbot plus human support is working better, or your normal customer support representatives over chat, with a live chat, they were better, and then AI came in and it became better, and there's a combination of AI and human support, and they are doing amazing. um, is there any way you can measure those things? Like, do customers tell you, hey, I like this approach the better, or this approach was better, now this has changed? How are you measuring these things that it's working for you?
Good question. Uh, the way that I measure it is from the feedback that my employees give me, and then the conversations that I have with our clients. When I do contact them, communicate them with them, I always ask them, how was your experience with the AI? Is it your first time? You're experienced user? And just hands down across the board, everybody has been very, very pleased with it. So I don't, and it's not a bad idea to have a formal questionnaire to provide people. I haven't gotten to that point yet. It's more of the a feeling by speaking with people, and getting their feedback, and from our employees too. It's been just a positive thing all the way across the board. And what's really positive about it is that once a person is introduced to AI, and has a pleasant, successful experience, let's say, it opens them up to using AI for for things in their personal life. I can't tell you how many times somebody, it's their first experience, and they've gone back and forth with the chatbot, and we speak afterwards, and now we're talking about, oh, hey, hey, I want to create an image. Hey, how do I do this? How do I do that? And I just enjoy AI in general very, very much. And it's fun to turn people on to AI, because it's something that is absolutely a life changer in so many ways. Whether you want to use it for a chatbot, whether you want to use it for, if you want to treat it like your personal stylist, you can do all of that. And so when somebody asks, well, what can it do? My response is, what can't it do? And so, yeah, I'm just, I've always been a huge fan, and I think my enthusiasm, it tends to rub off on our clients.
I love it how you explained it. So does your chatbot has a personality? Is it like very serious or professional, or something like, okay, in a very chill mode? Did you give your chatbot a personality so people feel more personalized, their interactions are more personalized, or very maybe like off go, let go type?
Most definitely. It has a personality. People don't know it, but it has a name. It has an age. It has a photo. It has a portrait. It has everything. And from the synthetic personas that I've created, and I've interviewed, I found what the type of chatbot that people want to talk to most, who they're going to trust, and what kind of what tone that they want. And generally, they don't want somebody too young, but they want somebody relatable. Yet somebody like in their mid 40s would be ideal, and with a somewhat of a casual tone, but down to earth. Who knows all the professional lingo, and also has just a little bit of wit and a sense of humor too. Nothing over the top, but it's definitely there, and so you feel like you really are speaking with a person, and this person has personality too. Personality goes a long way.
Awesome. And do you go back and check the conversations that the AI has with your customers in a week or in a month? Maybe you go back in and check, hey, what are the conversations the AI had with the customers? How do you track that?
That's something that I am unable to track. I wish I could. I wish I had something to expand on that, but I don't have any way to expand on that except, I can see the number of users that have interacted with it, but as far as the conversations, no, unfortunately, that's something that I'm not able to do yet. I haven't figured that out yet.
Okay, okay. So if you have ever get time, you can check out Communicate also. It has the same features which you told, and then you can go back in and check what are the conversations the AI had with the customers. But we can talk about that later. Um, so let's move to the future of AI in customer support. The same question which everybody asked to everyone: what are the biggest emerging trends that you're seeing with AI in customer support? What's one thing that you would say, okay, this is definitely going to happen, and this is where I put my money into?
Well, in my field, in the legal field, what's going to happen is that, well, it is not going to replace lawyers. That's for sure. It's not going to replace lawyers. But what it's going to do is it's going to level the playing field. And so when it does come time that you do need to do a legal procedure of some sort, it's much, much less intimidating. And so, again, it's going to just level the playing field. And so, you don't need to be a Harvard educated lawyer to understand the legal language of this document here. And so it's going to make everything much more approachable for people. It's going to simplify things, and again, it's going to level the playing field. And that's something that I feel that AI does. It just does that in general. It levels the playing field whether you want to create art, create photography, create videos. If you want to create music, I can create music using AI that I would have never been able to do had I not had it, because I just don't have those skills. I have the ideas, but I just didn't have the skills to put them down. And so it's going to make things really, really just quite wonderful in the future, I think, because it gives access to so much by everybody.
Since you talked about mu music, have you used Suno, the Suno app, where you can, or you did?
I
And
have.
since you have it, you use it.
I do, and I absolutely love it. And I have some thoughts on that. I think uh, it's a great thing because you can I'm able to create the music that I relate to. I write my own lyrics with AI. We create lyrics together, and now the music that I'm creating, they're songs about my life, about my dog, about all the things that I love, and so they're 100% relatable to me, and I'm able to refine the feel of it, the singer, all these different aspects. And so now some of my favorite songs have been songs that I've created with Suno because they're just so relatable, which is it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, amazing. So from what I hear is AI is not just in your job, not in just customer experience, customer support. It comes into your day-to-day life in writing your blog articles, your help center articles, again, then now in music also. So you as a person are totally revolving around AI every day. You have something to use for. Amazing. Amazing. And I think
Yeah.
that's the future. It's what it's going to be. Everybody has to know, has to use it and be one step ahead if they want to go take the next step ahead in their life. Cool.
Absolutely. Absolutely,
So
and with that, if you don't, it's just my opinion. If you don't stay up on AI, you are going to be left behind, and you're going to be a dinosaur. In my opinion, it's bigger than the internet was when it came out, and the people who didn't jump on the internet or jump on computers, I mean, they're dinosaurs now. And if you want to stay relevant, whether as an individual or as a company, you have to incorporate AI. It's such a wonderful thing. I think you'd be foolish not to.
yeah, and if you take it in perspective to customer support, you get instant support. Your customers get instant support
Mm.
at least, and then you cannot be there 24 into 7 to help your customers. Then AI can take over when you are sleeping, or you guys are on vacation, and then AI can at least resolve 50% to 60% of your basic repetitive queries, and you know that it would be there resolved there. Cool. So we're coming to the end of the section now, almost at time. So if you were advising a company today which is starting to modernize their customer support and they're bringing in AI, what would be your few top recommendations to them?
A few top recommendations would be to take your time with it. Don't rush into it. And if I don't recommend just setting it up yourself unless you have experience and maybe even a little bit of training or have worked with people who have set it up. Because you do want to have guidelines or guidelines and guardrails, and there's a lot of good to be had with it, but it's not something that can just be thrown together. So I would say you really have to take your time with it, and if you do get help in it, check out their background and see other things that they've created. Do they act morally, and do they consider all different kinds of angles that could go right and that could also go wrong. So I would say you have to approach it with caution and just slow and steady. That's the best way to do it.
That's a really good advice. Are there any support scenarios where you think AI should not be used? Like this is something very serious. We should not bring in AI.
Hmm. Um, well, I think when maybe it's a little bit different, but if you're talking, like counseling, life and death situations, something like that should probably be monitored. um, but But in terms of customer service, as long as it's set up properly, like it in my case, as long as we're not giving legal advice to people, there's really not too much to go wrong, provided you set those guard rails up. Um, is there a situation where it shouldn't be used? Shouldn't be used. That sounds like a moral dilemma. Should it or shouldn't it be used?
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I mean, are there any? Can you think of any where maybe it would be the
No.
best idea?
Yeah, from your perspective, from your business, is what I feel. When, especially if there's a financial data involved, sometimes we have few customers. They are banking customers, and refunds are okay, where you know, okay, this was the pricing amount, and if a customer is pissed off, you have to refund the exact same amount. That's totally easy, fine. Like you cut like $20 and $20 has been refunded. But sometimes what happens is some of the customers, they see if the pricing amount is $20, a refund of $22 go back. So so you have to be very ensured that this is happening, because now that autonomous AI agents are there who do refunds for you, who do cancellations for you, who do ticket bookings for you. And imagine I have asked someone to book a ticket for me for flight from New York to San Francisco, and it took the most expensive flight. And
Hmm.
that's where I cannot use AI for right now, for the moment. And these are scenarios which have come across internet. There was one scenario where an AI chatbot sold a Toyota for $1. So that was a big blunder for them. Yeah, and they had to roll back the feature then.
Uh, well, I think I would hope that those situations could have been avoided had further testing been done, and perhaps it was, hey, it's good enough to roll out. Let's roll it out. But those are really good examples. Fortunately, my company doesn't deal with examples like that.
Sure. Cool. So this would be my last question. This is for people who are in customer support, customer experience, who are listening to this podcast. How do you think the role of customer support representatives will evolve in this AI-rich environment?
Mm. Well, to me, I think that the roles, people are going to have to be a little more specialized. They're going to have to give people add something to the conversation that AI cannot. Once AI, once everything builds and builds and builds, I think that challenge is going to become tougher and tougher. But I think that people eventually will. That's a really good question. I'm stumped on it a little bit. Um, because my initial reaction was to say that they're going to have to know what they're speaking about, their product or service, even more. But it's kind of hard to one up AI in that. And so, having said that, I think it's going to be to relate to people more on a human level, on a personal level, to give it something that the AI cannot give at this point. At this point,
Empathy.
and so, thank you. Empathy, very well said. Very well said. Empathy.
Yeah, that's something AI is still struggling. It does not understand the context, like if that person is really sad or frustrated or confused. There are three different things where a customer can say, "Hey, I really need help. Can you please help me?" Now that person can be angry, he can be frustrated, or he can be sad. Now this is where a human agent can only understand, depending on the context, at what time he is asking. If it's at night AM, 3 a.m. in the morning, that question, it means it's an emergency. If it's at like,
That's right.
yeah, it's 12 p.m., it's a normal thing. Yeah, and but yeah, that's where human agents can come in and say that those things. Awesome. Ken, I really love the conversation that we had today. It was really helpful. Thank you so much for taking the time out. I really appreciate it. Uh, do you have any last few words that you want to share with the audience before we wrap this call?
Sure. I would say if or suggest if you have hesitation into getting into AI or or using AI, I think the best way, for me anyway, the best way to approach it is to look at it as a partner. It's a collaborative partner, and it's wonderful, and it can be helpful in every single aspect of your life. If you want to know, well, I have this issue, I have that issue, how can I better myself on this? How can you get more insight into yourself and your routines, perhaps? AI is just a wonderful thing, and the more you use it, the more you understand it, and the better chance that as a customer you'll be able to relate to it when you do come across a chatbot. You'll understand where it's coming from, and you'll understand how to format a question and interact with it, because it's not always the same as a person right now. But I think by the more experience you have with it, the more you'll learn the language, I think.
That's a really good session. Yeah. Thank you so much, Ken, for joining us today at Agentic First Podcast. We really appreciate you. And thank you to all our audience who are tuning us today or you're listening anytime. Please feel free to reach out, Ken. I'll put Ken's LinkedIn on the description section. Reach out to him, and maybe you guys need help with setting up an AI in your customer support. Ken can help you or guide you. Uh, Ken, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Manab. Pleasure is mine. Thank you so much.